On your wedding day, it's not just about the dress, it's about feeling flawless from head to toe. The Beauty King is here to help brides-to-be, just like me, on their beauty journey. Good morning, Liz.
Good morning.
I'm so excited that we've been able to do so many of these segments.
Yes.
I've learned so much through this process. So today we're going to talk about the crew.
Yes.
We're going to talk about bridesmaids and how they don't have to match, but they just have to coordinate. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Yes, so when I start my demo for bridesmaids, I always ask what their preferences are. I want to know if you wear makeup normally, if you like more drama to your eyes. Although we're going to keep it more unison, we always like to stay. I always tell people, you want to look like you're part of the same party.
Yes.
That's what I say, because I don't want someone to have like a heavy wing and smoky, and then everyone else has this like pretty soft, glowy matte situation. So we have two different looks here that we're gonna show a different look on this eye, but here we have a really soft matte, just pretty with liner for bridesmaids. We like to keep it more subtle. We don't like to have too much drama. I want you to look polished and pretty, but I don't ever want it to be just over the top and like too stand out. You don't want to be like the one in the picture that's eyes. You're the only one.
And you don't realize like what you're saying too, right? Is that when you get a group picture, you do want them to complement because everybody's side by side.
Right.
I would have never thought about that.
Yes, I want you to look like you're at the same party. So that's what I always share. And whenever we have any feedback or any kickback, I always tell the bride, just let me do it. Let me handle it. Just let me handle it, because that's the conversation. No, you know, we're gonna stick in this palette. We love the like gold tones or whatever our focus is.
Yes.
And we're gonna stick in this palette to make sure it complements everyone.
So you get to have those conversations with the bridesmaids.
Yeah, I got it.
I don't have to have that conversation with the bridesmaids.
No, I want to take care of as much as I can for you.
So do you talk to the bride first and kind of get her overall theme of what she's wanting, and then you guide the bridesmaids?
Yep.
Okay.
So the way that I do that, when we have our trial, I will talk to the bride about their accent colors, whether they're wearing pearl, silver, gold. I want to know the tones of the metals, because a lot of times I will style the makeup to complement the accessories.
Okay.
It's kind of my go-to. So if we're using something with a little gold tone with bridesmaids, I like to create just beautiful like glowy lids.
Oh, that's
Nothing
beautiful.
too, like crazy reflective like we did for the bridal look, where it's more intense shimmer. But this just gives you a really, really pretty glow. And then we have our deeper tone to kind of like accent and create a frame so our eyes stand out a little bit more.
So with this, I think about like photos, right? So is that going to be too much with it being a little bit of that that glimmer?
And open your eyes, Melly. So if you see with her looking right on, it just creates a really beautiful glow in the camera.
Okay.
So it's not going to be too dramatic.
No.
It
oh
just
my gosh,
allows
that's
your
beautiful.
eyes to stand out. And you have the same vibe with both eyes. This one is just matte, this one just has a sheen. But they're both giving you definition. You have the brightness in the center for both eyes.
Now, does it matter if it's a daytime wedding or an evening wedding?
It's going to be your preference. With daytime, I encourage my styling. Like, I try to keep it softer for the day. In the evening, we kind of like to zhuzh it up a little bit more.
Okay.
For the party, it's usually a little bit more fancy when you have an evening wedding. So we kind of go through that conversation, but it's ultimately up to what the bride wants to see.
Now, would you do different lips with each one of the looks on the eyes, given that that has a little bit of more of a glittery look and this is more soft and subtle?
Yeah.
Do you complement the eyes with the lips?
So I like to do more monochromatic, just pretty kind of pairing. So we'll do like a mauve kind of like pinky with the nude pinky.
Okay.
And then over here, we could do a little bit more definition. And you could flip it. It genuinely is always down to what you want to see, is what I always say. So over here, I would do a poppy eye. This one I would probably do for more like evening. And then on this side, I like this for a daytime situation where it's going to hit the sun. You're going to see more reflection. And then we could change the tone to be more like champagne-y or even more subtle, and not like the poppy gold. But it's ultimately down to what you want to see.
I love that, and I love the idea of like the bridesmaids complimenting. Now, when you're doing this, then you look at their skin tone too and their eye color to determine what colors that you use?
Yes, a lot of times we go with the tone of the dress.
Okay.
The bridesmaid's dress, their accessory, and then I choose tones through that. With our palettes, a lot of times they come with a range of browns, a range of shimmer tones that are meant to complement each other. So you can usually use the same palette and just kind of gauge it based on your
Okay.
complexion. So if I want to mimic this look on someone your tone, it wouldn't be the same colors. I would have to shift down that line of the
Okay.
palette so we get the definition, but it's not going to be as deep of a tone to create the same look, if that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense.
Okay.
I love that. And I love, like I said, the whole idea of making sure that the bridesmaids complement each other, especially when they're standing in a row and everybody's next to each other. So
Yes.
awesome. I learned something every week.
Yay,
So thank you for
good.
being here. Thank you for being a great model, Melanie.
Yes.
Thank you. More hometown living when we return.